This is my water heater. It's a gas water heater, 50 amps, and it doesn't work. It stopped working. So I just want to show you how to try to make it work. So this is a Whirlpool water heater, but remember Whirlpool, A.O. Smith, and Rheem and others using the same, usually the same control valve here. As you can see, it's a gas control valve from Honeywell, 24 volt, and this unit really, electronic unit, is controlling this water heater. Okay, and you probably will find it in Rheem and others. In addition to it, there are a number of sensor and ignition here. Actually one ignition, but there is a sensor here, as you can see. And this sensor usually comes from A.O. Smith, including the ignition, igniter, okay? And you can see here, you cannot see any flame, okay? And if you look here carefully on the controller here, or the valve control, you can see for 3 seconds we don't have light, and then we have the status light flickering for exactly 7 times. Okay, as you can see, 3 seconds, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's it. So I look at the code, and the code is actually here, and you can see also on the document, all of them are the same. When the status light flickering 7 times every 3 seconds and it stops, it's the problem is this sensor. This sensor is called FVS, okay, which means flammable, vapor detectable sensor. Okay, that is the culprit here. And this what you see here is actually igniters, and you see here other one that is the wire that lead to the thermostat. So what I want to speak today is how can I reset the flammable vapor sensor in order to turn on this water heater that it will start working and heat my water. Sorry about the noise, the background noise is my furnace not working, okay? So I just want to talk about this sensor, okay? I call what is Whirlpool, and they gave me the number of this sensor, and guess what? A.O. Smith is actually the manufacturer of this sensor. This sensor is nothing but the resistors. It's going from 9 kilo ohm to 45 kilo ohm. So you can replace it actually with a simple resistors, but then you're not going to have the safety of the flammable. So I'm not sure if this one working properly or not. I didn't even test it. There is a plastic here that I can remove and see what's happening here and stuff, but I really want to try to reset the system here, okay? And it might start working. If not, we will have to really replace it. And by the way, we will want for that thing like $75, while A.O. Smith is $42. So remember, if you want to buy a new one like that, just search the internet and try to find something between $40 to $20. Okay, because it really doesn't worth $72. So in order to reset this system, okay, that this fault from this sensor, okay, will go away, there is a 6-step you have to follow here, okay, which I actually copied from the internet. And it's really interesting, so I just want to do it together with you and to see if I can actually to make this water heater revive, okay? So let's start. The first thing, you make sure that the gas is on. So before you turn on the gas, just smell to see if there is any flammable, really flammable vapor here. If there is any flammable vapor, okay, so don't turn it on. Just try to find out the source of the flammable vapor, because it's really dangerous when you ignite with flammable vapor or gas. You know what's going to happen, correct? So I think that this one fell down because we paint here with the polyurethane, and I believe the flammable, the gas of the polyurethane went to that one and somehow upset it, okay? So just want to know that the way it works actually, when there is any flammable, there's a combustion or any natural gas, okay? What's going to happen? The resistance of this sensor will be increased dramatically from 14 or 15 kilo or to 900 mega. Okay, it will disconnect the circuit and it will disconnect this element, and this element will not work. So the first step you have to do is you're first going to shut down the switch. You see the switch here? It was on, you put it off, and then this status valve will stop flickering, okay, because it's off. The second thing I have to do is I have to unplug the power to it. Remember, there's a 24-volt power to this valve, and I want to show you where I'm going to plug it off, okay? So let me show you. So as you can see here, if I'm going up, there is a plug, okay? It's a 24-volt, from 120 to 24, I have to unplug it. Okay, so it's really tough, okay, and I'm going to put it here above this garage controller or whatever. Okay, so I just put it there, it was here, and now it's there, and it's disconnected. So the second step is, as you can see here, I have to take the knob here, okay, and put it to low. You see here, this knob, it's low now, okay? First step I have to do is I have to go and plug it back. This plug here, okay? So I plug it back. I plug the 24 volt to this controller back. And that's very important, okay? So now we can continue. That's the fourth step. Now we're going to the fifth step. And the fifth step is to put this switch on, okay? So the sixth step, and the most important step, is to flip this, okay, or to rotate it, the knob, really from the low to the high, okay? Between 3 to 5 times, I think maybe even 7 times. So let's try doing it. So what I want to do now, I'm going to actually flip this knob from low to high, and 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 from low to high, to high. Let's see what happens here, really. I don't see anything happening here. So my mistake was that I start to flip the knob after the LED, status LED turn on. So I repeat step 1 to 6 again properly, and it's worked perfectly. So after I did it, I hear the click, okay? And actually, I just want to tell you that you have to make it quicker, you know, the flickering, to flip the knob here from low to high at least 3 times until you hear a click. So that's what happened to me. And guess what? You won't believe. Look at that. Look. You can see how it actually worked perfectly now. And this water heater is revived and working. And you know, I saved to myself quite a bit of money here. The sensor, actually, the minimum price I see is $45. That's the sensor of that. And most likely, as I understand here, this sensor usually, when it's actually trapped or just fail, it's momentarily. So just remember it. If you're going to call to a plumber or the other contractor, they will charge you like $400 or $500 doing nothing really. So that's it, it's working perfectly, and I hope you will have the same successful as I have. If not, you just buy another sensor and replace it. But before you replace the sensor, just try it, and I bet you it will work. Just remember, when you disconnect and connect the 24 volt, after connection of the 24 volt, which is step 5, step 6, you have to immediately go and flip, okay, and rotate this knob from low to high quite rapidly. Okay, and then it will turn on, okay, and then you can hear click, and then the click, you can see the status light here start to say the same. You see the status light here? Let's say it's perfect. It's actually just flickering every half a second or so. That's okay. System is perfectly. So that's it. And remember that have to be an on, correct? And by the way, I forgot something to tell you. This cover, you have to put it back, and that's important to do it, to put it back, and probably the most difficult one here. So that's the way I'm doing it. I just press it here and put it here, and guess what? It's in properly inside, as you can see here. That's what you should see when the water heater works properly. A pulse every 4 seconds, as you can see. That said that the water heater is in idle, which means it's working properly, there's no problem with it. Thank you very much for watching this video.